Hi, everybody. This is Jack Olmsted coming to you from Port Townsend, Washington, and I'm here with a very, very special guest all the way from Flint, Michigan. It's none other than the student, the photographer, the protester, Megan Kreger. Hi, Megan.
I love the intro. That's a really good one.
I worked up to it. I see the sun is shining in Flint today.
It is a beautiful day, a little cold, but that's all right. So just need a
And
hoodie.
you need a hoodie. That's right. In our pre-interview yesterday, you were wearing the little red hoodie.
Oh, yes. I stole it from my partner, so he actually has to keep track of how many hoodies are at my house now.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, not sorry. If he didn't want me to wear them when I was cold, he shouldn't leave them laying around. So it's okay. They get washed.
So before we get into your GoFundMe campaign,
Mhm.
Teeth for Truth. How did you come up with that catchy headline, Teeth for Truth?
Well, I had some help with a friend and I was kind of trying to hash out stuff and they're like, "Oh, alliteration." So they pointed it out and actually I do believe that friend was you. So,
Really? It was me? I can't even remember. We've had so many long conversations
yeah,
over over the
we were
last, what,
bouncing ideas off
3 months?
each other.
Yeah, okay.
Something like that.
Are you drinking Flint water? Flint
No.
filtered water? Do you drink the filtered water?
I don't. I've got the sink filter and I also have a zero water pitcher and I can't drink it. I'll take the filtered water and then run it through the second filter, and I still get a little nervous, so I'll stick to bottled for now.
You double filter your water?
I have before, but at this point, it's kind of at the point where I still don't trust it.
Now, yesterday you said that you're not bathing in water, and you showed me a box of, are they baby wipes?
Yep, baby wipes. Actually, I can't remember who it was. One of the churches had a tailgate party. And so we went over there and they were handing out not only tons of water, but also baby wipes and Clorox wipes because obviously, everybody still has countertops that need to be cleaned. I mean, you don't want to be spreading that nasty water around. So,
You don't even clean your countertops with the Flint water.
well, I don't have to now because I've got the wipes.
You got the wipes, but
Yeah.
you were saying that you wipe yourself down as opposed to taking showers and baths.
Yeah, I definitely try to avoid it because of the fact that, there aren't actually testing protocols or guidelines for contaminants in shower water. It's all drinking water. So, Scott Smith, he came into town and he was talking about it. But and he had a lot of good information and everybody keeps asking, is it safe to bathe in the water? And the best answers we've gotten are yes, no, no if you're immunocompromised, and I don't know, which I think I don't know is the best answer because it's the most honest one.
Oh, how about infants? Can
um,
infants? Is it no, maybe? I
I
don't know.
I
Yes.
do believe that it's no for infants. I know it's no for the immunocompromised. So,
I wonder what they're doing in the hospitals. Are they filtering showers water for people that have operations in the hospital? A Legionnaire's disease, it really first popped up in your local hospitals.
Hmm.
Do you know if the hospitals have filtered uh, bath water, shower water, or are they just going with the the government's seal of approval? It's safe. Use it.
Yeah, I'm not
I
sure.
know. I know you're an intrepid reporter. You're out there with all these questions, seeking
Oh,
answers
interesting.
with your pink camera.
Yup. Actually, hang on. It's right over here.
It's your baby.
It is my baby. It's never too far away. I got some good pictures this morning of my cats fighting.
Let's take a look at your camera. Can we get like a little selfie with you and your camera?
Um, like this. So,
Yeah, you can frame it. You have to look right into the camera. You're looking into. There you go. There you go. Okay, that's a keeper.
okay.
How long have you had your pink Pentax?
I have had it, let's see, 2014. So I have had it for about 2 years now.
And was it a gift? Did
Nope,
you
it was a
like
gift from me to me.
a
So
gift from you to you?
it was. I'd been wanting a camera for a while, and I had saved up, and I decided that I had a college application to send out to University of Oklahoma, and I had so much anxiety about it that basically I decided, you know what? I will reward myself. If I can get this in and get it in on time before the deadline, then I'm going to go ahead and order this camera. So, worked my butt off, got done with that, and I was like, sweet, cool, now I can get my camera. So, I checked my email and found a coupon, and like, and this is half an hour after I had sent the application in. So I found a coupon and I'm like, yoink, order. So good stuff.
Did you get a couple of lenses with it?
I
Wide
did.
angle, telephoto?
No, just another zoom lens. I still need a wide angle lens. And I know people say, oh, okay, I need something shiny. No, I'm a meteorology major. I actually need one for the sky. So it's kind of cool. I didn't talk about school yet, so with any of our other conversations. So it's like, hey, yes, photographer and student. That part's coming back now. Just
And you are going to be a student at University of Oklahoma?
if I can come up with the money, I might end up going to Central Michigan instead. But we're really hoping for Oklahoma because it's one of the top programs in the nation, and it's where my gut is telling me I need to be.
Do you need a PhD in order to become a meteorologist?
No, actually, a lot of the TV meteorologists that you see on TV, they might just have a certificate. So if you're going into research, you're going to want to get your PhD. So I'll probably go through and try to get mine. But I mean, really, bachelor's, master's, like it is now. So, but
So is it going to
I don't
be a
know.
2-year program for you?
It'll probably be another 3 because I've got a lot of math and science to handle, and just the way that things are going to be spaced. Like I have to have Calc 2 again before I take physics. So that's going to push it off another semester. And then after I have physics, then can take prereqs, like other prereqs for my degree. Because I have to have physics before I take atmospheric mechanics, optics, and electricity. So like, I it sounds like a scary class, and I can't wait for it. It sounds really fun. So
You're kind of a gearhead, a techie person.
I am. I do calculus for fun.
I hear you do calculus when you wake up in the morning. That gets you started.
Yeah, it's a good way to get your mind going. So it's just I'm doing older problems, and there's a certain rhythm to it, and it's just like you can kind of just it's it's oh, what's the word I'm looking for?
Sounds like you're a
Yeah.
calculus groupie. You just love the
Actually,
problems.
actually, with my relationship with math, I'm pretty sure that I have Stockholm syndrome at this point.
What is Stockholm syndrome?
When you fall in love with your captor.
Oh, really?
I used to loathe math, and I basically found out, okay, if I want to go into meteorology, I need to not only pass algebra, but I need to go all the way through Calc 4. So, I mean, I'll have basically an automatic math minor. But so I started going to class and actually did my homework, and fourth time taking that algebra class, I got through it and kept,
Kaboom!
yep.
You
Sometimes you just gotta
you got the math
offer.
bug.
Yep.
Fell in love with math.
Well, I also tutored for a while because I knew that I could only keep going higher if I got a lot of practice. So,
Oh,
like me doing calculus in the morning, that actually helps me stay sharp and on top of my game because I'm basically going to, after taking a year off, it's going to be culture shock again when I start going back to university. So, especially since it's uni and uni always kicks it up more than the little local community college does.
hmm.
But it's okay. I love a challenge. So
Well, I guess you have a huge challenge before you
I do.
because you were drinking water that the city, the state, the EPA, the federal government said that it was safe, and it had lead in it, and you know by doing some research that lead can drop your IQ points down a couple of notches. That's a bit of a challenge.
Yeah, that actually, when I first read that, I broke down. I completely broke down and cried because I mean, I'd been having little memory shorts and stuff like that, and like I noticed a difference in my short-term memory, and like some of the stuff that I had done in math, like I started struggling with. And actually, when I was tutoring for a while, I was still drinking city water at this point. It basically got so bad that I was, it was recommended to me that I focus on lower level math classes because I was struggling with the college algebra material and teaching it to people. So that, that kind of sucked. But at the same time, it was really great because I was able to help a lot of people in the lower level classes that had math anxiety like me and help them get through it. And um, every single student that I helped, there wasn't a single one that ended up tying my record for how many times I had to take algebra. So made it all worthwhile.
Let's talk about drinking the water that the city, the state, the federal government said that was safe, but it smelled.
Hmm.
You drank the water when it did smell. It didn't have a good taste, and you flavored it up a bit.
Yeah. Well, and I was thinking about it, and I remember that is one of the things that I liked about our water. It was a little sweet before, you know, it started tasting nasty. But looking back on it now, it's like that was probably due to lead contamination because lead actually used to be used as a sweetener.
Roman times,
Yep.
they love to put lead in their wine. They sweeten it up. So
So
so you like the taste of lead.
apparently, because I was drinking a gallon or two a day. Um, but it's it's really scary because I don't know what the impact is and how bad my impact was. Like I just pulled up my testing and my blood lead levels were really low. It was 0.08 parts per billion, or no, zero point 0.8. So it was super low, but it was there. So that was after not drinking Flint water for, I believe, 11 months at that point in time.
Now we're
So
now we're talking about the finger prick blood test.
no, they actually did a draw.
They did a draw.
Yeah. So I've got to check up tomorrow. I'm going to have them recheck my levels, see where it's at now. But, that's probably not going to tell me anything about what my exposure was, which is why we're here today, though. So,
Or truth, truth for teeth.
teeth for truth. Yep.
Truth for teeth. Yeah, teeth for truth.
I knew I should have made you some tea too.
That's right. I need some tea. Do you want to bring up your GoFundMe campaign on the
Yeah,
screen, sharing your screen, and we can just go through it?
I can do that.
Oh, before you do that, let's segue. Let's talk about the news. Here, I'm going to try to share my screen with you,
Hmm.
which actually has your GoFundMe campaign on it. Uh, but I want to talk about the news of the day.
Hmm. Yup. So I will say this. I have met Little Miss Flint, aka Mari, before, and she is probably one of the sweetest little girls I've ever met. She's so polite and she's a total little sweetie. And so she wrote a letter to Obama saying, "Hey, I know you're busy, but can you come visit Flint?" And he wrote back. And so now, next Wednesday, we will be getting a visit from President Obama. So hopefully, after speaking with some of the Flint citizens and finding out what kind of things are going on and how we're still not really getting the help we need, hopefully we might be able to get an actual disaster declaration rather than just an emergency. Because once you have a disaster declaration, that's when you can pull in FEMA, and we could have water buffaloes coming in, which are basically huge tankers. So huge tankers full of water. So basically you could just take jugs and go refill them rather than actually, basically using bottled water. So, I mean, it it's super cute and I loved Obama's response to it. I thought it was, you know, it was a good response. And then it's I'm glad he's coming. I really think that until you come to Flint and see how it is firsthand, that you can't fully understand it. I mean, you can understand it, but there's understanding and getting it. So I think he'll really get it
Are
after
you
he comes
going?
and visits.
I know you had a press pass for the Democratic debates.
Hmm.
Are you going to get a press pass for the Obama visit?
I'm already working on it. So I'm sure that there's going to be all sorts of security clearances and whatnot. But I got in touch with another photojournalist that I'm friendly with and said, "Hey, do you know what's going on yet?" And they were like, "Nope, not yet." So time will tell. But I hope so. I really hope so.
What would you like to tell Obama? And do you have any questions for Obama?
Um, I'd like to tell him we're that we need more help than what we're getting. We need more money than what we're getting. And if I were to ask him something, I guess I would probably ask him why it took so long to come visit. Because it seems like when you have natural disasters like fires or floods or um, superstorms or hurricanes or, tornado outbreaks, oftentimes you will get a presidential tour. Well, it's been 5 months since our first emergency declaration, and he was in Detroit for the auto show. Well, Detroit, I've flown from Detroit to Flint, and you go up, you go down. Like, you don't even get a chance to cruise. It's about a 40-minute flight tops. Absolutely tops. So, but, hopefully after he comes and visits, then it'll it'll bring in some more aid. Or at least, at the very least, it'll bring the cameras back around, which is good because anytime you have the media there, especially if it's nationwide media, then the awareness gets out there, the exposure is there. So
You shared something with me in the green room. You got a couple of your photos accepted to a newspaper?
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Congratulations.
I'm super stoked about that. I believe it's from the March to Rebuild Flint. The march we had back in, I think it was May.
May
Yeah, it was.
2015?
Yeah, it was with Jesse Jackson, and I'm really proud of that shoot.
Well, that's probably going to be March, not May.
Oh,
We
did I
aren't
say May?
we aren't in May yet. Yes,
Oops.
you said May.
Oops. That go me.
Well, no, you
I
have
misspoke.
you have issues with memory, short-term memory loss, right? That's due to
Yeah.
lead. It all
Lead
can be
fart.
traced back to the lead.
Yeah, I guess I had a lead fart then, huh?
There you go. There you go. There's the T-shirt industry that's going to make that very popular. I'm from Flint. Forgive my lead fart.
It's one of those things that it's so ridiculous that it is something that I would totally say. And it'll be really funny when I, move out of Michigan and people are like, "What do you mean lead fart?"
That's why you need the T-shirt.
Oh, well, I've got plenty of Flint Lives Matter shirts at this point, so.
When did you get started with this? I mean, obviously you were drinking water you thought was safe.
Mhm.
When was the day you woke up and said, I got to go from a victim to an activist, a protester, a journalist, a photographer to document what's going on with me and my neighbors?
Well, I'd say there's a couple different answers there. When it comes to awareness, I started waking up a bit. I'd say last February, because that's when Leanne's posts about her child, or Leanne Walters, she had posts on Facebook. She was trying to spread the word that her child had lead poisoning, and those posts kept getting reported. So I kind of kept an eye on that. But for activism, I would say I got started more in that at the end of August, because we were part of the Virginia Tech study, and I basically heard water testing, and I'm like, okay, well, I've been reading all these things about the water and posts on Facebook indicating that there's something bigger going on here. And so when I had the chance to basically get testing done through Virginia Tech, I jumped at the opportunity. So what happened was Melissa Mays actually came and picked up the kit, and we were talking with her in my front yard, and the things that she was saying, about symptoms of lead poisoning and heavy metal poisoning. It was it was pretty shocking, and not because those were the symptoms, but it was shocking to me because those were some of them were symptoms that I'd had. Like all of a sudden, my hair falling out made sense. My, the rash I'd occasionally get, and I don't get rashes. That suddenly made sense. My dad was there, and he's talking about it, and he asked about, could it be causing his aches and pains in his joints? And the answer was yes. And just after that, I I was pretty disgusted. I'm like, they're trying to cover something like this up. So I started trying to muckrake a little bit, digging up information and shooting it out to people here and there when I could. But when it comes to like photojournalism or going out to the protests, that's all this year. One of the ways the lead really impacted me was I already had anxiety and depression, but it really just blew it up and took it to a whole new level, to the point in which I was agoraphobic a bit. Like if I was away from my own house for a couple hours, then I started getting like really bad anxiety, like, okay, crap, I need to get back. I need to get back home. So I had a medication get switched around, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, I can leave. So that helped a lot. And then kind of started going out more, started shooting the protests, started going to the protests. I mean, even just for myself, it started off, I went to go to one, and I was just going to take some pictures and participate, and I got too caught up in taking pictures. And then the next one was like that. So, and after that, I started looking into photojournalism more and requirements for what I would need to do. Um, and kind of just moved on from there. You there?
I turned off my
Okay.
mic.
Oh, okay.
I remembered with my headset here, when I listen to the recording back, I can hear my breathing.
Ah.
And I don't think that's a good thing, so I am turning my mic off. But
Oh, okay.
I'm here, I'm listening.
Okay.
I heard everything you had to say.
Cool.
I wonder if you can talk about the posters behind you.
Yeah, I can.
Can you give us a little tour?
Yeah, so I've got the three main ones that you see behind me. This one is a Arrest Snyder poster because, well, it is true. At the very top of the poster, it says unwanted, and he is unwanted. And then right over next to it, I have a sign that we got at our first protest, our first big protest, and it says "Water and Justice for Flint." And that sign's been a lot of places with me and my partner, and it's a little worn out, so it's been retired. We still need to put together a new one, but that'll hopefully be happening soon. And then our original sign, because it's been in some photographs and I think it's a little iconic. It's our little thing. We're going to go ahead and frame it and keep it. So we've got a whole bunch of stuff that's going to get framed or hung up in the new house, and that's definitely one of them. So the Snyder poster might get framed too. It all depends on how much room we have in our office. But it's really good to have stuff like that around because of the fact that, it reminds you that you still have to fight every day. And it helps keep the anger going, because it's really easy to go from anger to despair. And if you despair, you're not, it's hard to get anything done. But if you're angry, then you're motivated. and I mean, there's a lot of angry people in this town that want answers. I'm one of them. I just normally don't show it.
You also want your pipes replaced.
I do.
You
I
just
do.
don't want answers. People are giving you
Yeah.
answers.
They're talking.
They're telling you to wait. They're telling you that they're going to be doing some studies.
Yeah.
Do you feel as though you're a lab rat, or
Yeah.
that you're a zoo animal and they're, instead of throwing peanuts at you, they're throwing bottles of water?
They're talking about putting additional phosphates in the water and needing to flush it so that, it can rebuild the coating and, that way the pipes will, hopefully stop leaching lead. But the thing is, we need new pipes. This pipe is from my bathroom. It just gave way one day. It doesn't matter how many phosphates you put through it, this pipe is ruined. We've got an entire city full of pipes like that. God only knows what happened to our insides.
Yeah, well, actually, the phosphates going into the water system won't keep you 100% safe from the lead.
Nope.
It won't leach as much lead. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that's what you get, and all they're trying to do, which is what they did 2 years ago, is be in compliance. It's all about letter of the law. We just want to hit compliance, and those numbers aren't about public safety, so to speak. I mean, if you do the research, and don't take my word, I am not an expert. Megan is not an expert. Hopefully you'll get on Google and you'll start like pounding this out. And hopefully if you do find the answers, if you find a thread, put it in the comments below in the YouTube video or in the Facebook chat session or on Twitter, hashtag Flint Water Crisis.
And
Um,
and sorry for cutting you off. I would say if you do want to do research, then starting at flintwaterstudy.org would be a great place to start. That's Virginia Tech's website. They've got other results from testing up there and also a ton of the FOIA, Freedom of Information requests that they've posted. So basically, if they get it, they post it. So there's a lot of really amazing information up on there and some really infuriating information up on there.
well, it's amazing that it took college students to bring this to light. Without the residents and the college students, you would be drinking poisoned water today.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, it makes you wonder if it wasn't for Virginia Tech, how long would it have gone on? I don't like thinking about that question,
Well,
but
I
it is one that
I
should be asked.
I think you just have to look at Washington, D.C. and see the plight of the population of Washington, D.C. They
Hmm.
were poisoned, even more so, and
They were.
they swept it under the rug.
Hmm.
They pretended like nobody was harmed, nobody was damaged. You can't prove it. And those that are trying to prove it, what is it, 15 years later, the kids that were damaged, they were 4 years old. They're now 19 years old. They're graduating high school. They still haven't had their day in court to prove it. I mean, that's the bureaucracy. That's the system that we are under. It's like,
Hmm.
sure, prove it. And they have the resources, they have the scientists that will not do the studies or do limited studies that show that there isn't a problem. And that's exactly what happened in Washington, D.C., and that's how you got Virginia Tech on your side,
Hmm.
because Mark Edwards, he
Yeah.
knew a call was coming from someplace. He didn't know when. He just knew he was going to get it because of how the bureaucracy works, and that there is a problem.
Hmm.
And when he got the call from Leanne Walters, that made the referral through Miguel del Toro, he dropped everything. He dropped everything because of what happened to the population in our capital city of Washington, D.C. And people died, covered up.
Yep.
They were compromised. Kids never able to achieve their potential. And if they go to have kids, they're going to be passing it on to their kids and to their grandkids. And so that's a good segue into teeth for truth. Teeth for truth. So let's get into your GoFundMe campaign.
All right. So,
are you going to share the screen?
Yep. Give me just that. Get up there. So, Teeth for Truth really comes.
Are you going to make a sign? Are you going to be out there with your protest sign?
It might not be a bad idea, but I hope I don't have to resort to that.
I would suggest, a blow up of your tooth, and teeth for truth with a big tooth.
So on the screen you can actually see,
okay.
Yeah, so I've got it up now.
Okay.
So these gross looking little things are actually chips of my teeth. I'm up to about 8 chips now, because that's an older picture. But
how did you get those tooth fragments? Why don't you bring them back? Can you blow that up any further?
I can't. Well, here, hang on. Let's see if I can.
Oh, you can blow up your screen. Yeah, there you go. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Those came from your mouth.
So, basically, lead is stored inside your bones. And so what happens is, because it's softer than the bone, when it gets stuck in there, basically, if it gets stuck in your teeth, it starts to rot them from the inside out. And that's part of what's been happening with me. I had cavities and broken teeth before this. But over the past 2 years, I've been losing chunks of teeth at a time. I've bit into a Subway sandwich before and cracked a molar. Another molar that went a little bit ago, and I'm going to go ahead and switch back to the screen here. No, screen share. How do I get out of screen share?
You're out of screen share. I see you.
I am? Okay.
Yeah.
So if you look here, that's actually a pretty big fragment, the white one there. The cool thing about this is, after it broke, I had some of the pulp hanging up, so I was able to get some of the pulp and add it to there. So I think it's going to be a really good sample for labs to analyze, because you've got so many little pieces and you've got pulp in there. But part of the reason why I'm hoping to, or why I put the campaign together, is actually so that I could send those shards of teeth out to a lab and be tested. Currently, my blood levels are 0.8 parts per billion. That's really low. It's still in there, but it's really low. However, I haven't drank Flint water in so long that I have no idea how much lead is actually in my system. But if I send these fragments out and go ahead and get them analyzed, teeth are kind of like trees. They've got they've got sort of rings that you can tell for the ages. I do apologize. Dr. Mona was talking about it. And basically, teeth don't lie. they can't lie. They're bone. So the lead that's leached in there, it's probably still stuck in there. And if even one of these little fragments is testable, just one, then that gives me some very important answers. One of the answers that I'll be getting is it safe for me to have biological children? This is a very real concern of mine. I'm 30 years old. I have an amazing partner. We're looking to settle down. And so if we're going to have biological children, it will probably be, in the next, at some point within the next 5 years, probably closer to 5. But um, when you have, from my understanding, when you've got a fetus and it's growing inside the mother, basically, the fetus acts as a sort of magnet, and it draws nutrients from its mother's body. And unfortunately, because lead mimics calcium and whatnot, the fetus will draw that into uh, basically the baby gets lead poisoned in the uterus because that's what it's drawing from. It's drawing calcium from tainted bones, and there's all sorts of nasty stuff. And it's not just me that would have that problem. My kid would have issues with lead poisoning, and that could be passed on down to their kids. And depending on who you listen to, even their kids. So you're looking at 2-3 generations that are going to be impacted by this. And there's not a lot of talk about, future impact. Everybody's talking about the kids now, and that's great. But people like me who, were adults, maybe not immunocompromised, maybe in pretty good shape, health-wise, we're low priority. The kids are the highest priority. And I understand they're the future, but it sucks sometimes because what about the parents? Are the parents getting tested too? What's going to be the impact on future generations? But the great thing about this for Teeth for Truth, like I said, getting these teeth tested, it'll tell me exactly what my exposure was. And the good news about that is, then I can go let my neighbors know approximately what the lead levels were on the street. I can have an idea of if I need treatment for anything. And in addition to that, I just get the incredible peace of mind from knowing exactly how bad it was. For me, not knowing is probably one of the scariest things. It's kind of horrifying because you don't know. You can get a slight idea of it, but you really don't know how bad it was. So, yeah, but
It sounds like you could be a trailblazer. You could be the first. If you get your teeth checked, that might plant the seed into the community that others can get their teeth checked, and maybe they don't have to create a GoFundMe campaign to ask strangers for donations so that you can get your teeth checked, that the state or the federal government will deem it something that they need to be doing. They need to give the residents, especially those that are of childbearing years, the peace of mind that they can have biological children lead-free. Um,
Mm-hmm.
because if you do any research, and again, go out and do research. It's easy. Google makes it real simple.
Absolutely.
You just have a thought, you put the thought into Google. You don't even have to write anymore. You can just say whatever pops into your head, and Google will search for it on your phone and your tablet, on your computer. They make it so easy if you have a thought in your head to go out and find some answers. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we aren't experts. We've just done some Google searches, right?
Yeah.
And
I
trying to pull some pieces together that makes sense. So hopefully you won't be the only one checking your teeth. You will be the first one that blazes the trail so that the institutions that can afford it or that have the resources, i.e. the doctors, the labs, they can bring in the Army, and then they can set up, whole lab sessions. You got neighborhoods in Flint that are empty. I mean, instead of shooting them full of holes with their guns, they could be setting up, laboratories to test people's teeth. Where do the
that
teeth come from? Oh, it comes from dentists. Yeah, everybody's going to the dentist, and just by business as usual, the dentist could be supplying the teeth to the government that does the analysis, and
mm-hmm.
then the children, they've got teeth falling out as they get a certain age, and they could be shipping them into a laboratory that can determine their lead levels, and then they can track them. And then they can create programs for them
Mm-hmm.
that can help them, because they will stumble. Because kids with the lead, they aren't angels.
Mm-mm.
You aren't raising lead tainted children. They are not the angels. They're the ones that end up in prison. They're the
Mm-hmm.
ones that don't learn, that can't learn, that have problems with math, and they're anxious.
Mm-hmm.
Do the research. This is the future for children in Flint that are born by parents that drank water for over a year that the government said was safe.
Yeah, and actually, I do hope that happens. I really hope this catches on. One of my Facebook friends, she's got the same sort of thing going on, and I guess her dentist actually told her to save her teeth shards. So I'm glad to hear that, there's at least one other person that's going to save these and hopefully send them out.
Why doesn't the dentist start saving the teeth? Why would he put it on the residents? Why is it your burden? This You
Well,
were
if you,
told they were safe. You were told that the water was safe, and you believed them, and now they are putting the burden on you to prove that you are damaged for what they've done.
well, it
That's
makes sense
crazy.
but it does make a little bit of sense because if you've got chunks of teeth that are coming out at home, then yeah, you should save them.
Yeah, but if you're at the dentist and they're pulling out teeth for other reasons, why would they say, "Oh, take the tooth home and put it in a safe place so that we can analyze"? So you might want to have it analyzed at some later date.
Yeah, well, I don't know that that's what's happening.
Oh, okay.
So,
I think what's happening is they're just taking the teeth and they're disposing of them like they have been doing for the last 50 years or something. It's like there's no problem here.
yeah.
Why do we need to keep the teeth?
I do believe that there's been some talk about collecting teeth and whatnot and using them to do research on. I'm not
Baby
positive.
teeth. They've been talking about collecting baby teeth, not teeth from dentists.
Okay.
And again, anybody listening to this, type in dentist, teeth. I believe there was a study in Cleveland where they had dentists supply teeth to a study that determined lead levels in the population. This is not new. Whoever they are, the medical community, the governments, the scientists, they seem to be wanting so hard to duplicate studies that have already been done.
Mm-hmm.
Let's check and see if the population was exposed, and let's track the children from age 6 to 20 to see where they are, what kind of adults they've grown into. It's like, oh, well, that was done back in the 1970s. You're going to why reduplicate the same study? Don't you want something else? And for them to just say, we're tracking the children, I mean, we're talking about a multi-corporation. A multi-corporation doesn't do just one thing. They hire like an army of people to do 100 things so that they can function. I know one person doesn't do, I mean, the company isn't just focused on, let's just do marketing. They, let's just do product development. Let's just sell product. I mean, no, they have an army of people, and that army of people, they do a multiple of things. So for them being the conventional wisdom of the leadership in the federal level, well, even the newspapers, let's talk about the media, for them just to focus on the single track of the children, I mean, I get it, but there's a whole lot more
There is.
to the story, to the harm that was done by telling people something that was not safe was safe.
Mm-hmm.
And they being the government, everybody signed off on it. The federal government, the state government, the county, the city, they said it was safe. And also the medical community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and actually, I'm reading through an article right now,
Do you want to
and
screen share it?
yeah, sure. So, give me just a second. Dual monitors makes it a little more tedious at times. So, this is an article on MLive. Baby teeth could be the key to tracking lead exposure. And it's from April 15th, but they are mentioning that they're starting to float the idea that, you know, if we collect and analyze teeth, hey, this might be a great idea. So they're saying it's in its infancy, though, which maybe that baby needs to get or needs to be born already.
That's crazy in its infancy. Let's talk about it. These studies that they are referencing to, and we have studies in the 1970s, and the links below this video. I mean, this, and there are books. There have been books published about this stuff.
Mm-hmm. It was one of the first studies to, or the Philadelphia study you were referring to by Needleman in the 70s. It says right here, it was one of the first studies to raise awareness of environmental pollutants on a child's development. So they should be doing this.
It should not be an idea that they're floating around like, hey, I think this is a good idea. This is something that they should have jumped at the very beginning. And they being public health.
Mm-hmm.
People that are paid to protect public health.
Yeah, and this could tell more also because since when you have your teeth analyzed, it can actually, they'll be able to tell you when the exposure happened. You might be able to find out that, hey, maybe I have lead paint. Maybe some of it's from that. So it's just, it could answer, just getting the teeth analyzed could answer a lot of questions.
It gives you a better indicator on your exposure to lead in your lifetime, whether it is through water or lead paint, because I believe your teeth are like rings of a tree, and it can determine years, the year that you're exposed to lead contamination.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of a good thing with that. Let's talk about some of the words that you have on your GoFundMe campaign, talking about the support, um, uh, the cost, $200.
Mm-hmm. It's so many answers you can get for. It's a little bit steep of a price tag for me, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not that much.
Yeah, $5. If people watching this, if they can just send $5 to the GoFundMe
Yeah.
campaign, $5 times what? 40?
Uh,
Yeah,
yeah.
40 people sending $5, and I guess you can publish the results. We can do another
Oh, absolutely. I full transparency on it.
good, bad, or indifferent. You can publish the results
Mm-hmm.
because hopefully others will follow suit. It says here, it angers me to no end that I need to come up with the money for this out of my pocket.
Yep. People have
Where's
people
where's
have
this government?
That's a good question. There's been some adult testing done, but I know when this first came out, people were getting billed for lead tests. So I haven't gotten a bill for mine, thankfully, but I have a feeling that if I were to get retested blood-wise, that my insurance might not cover it. And, I've got Healthy Michigan, which is expanded Medicaid under the ACA. So basically, they're proposing when they say, okay, we want Medicaid for all in Flint or for 21 and under, I have it. It's good coverage, but it doesn't cover everything. My partner has a similar plan and he got a tetanus shot. It was at a checkup. It was non-essential, apparently, because he got a bill for like $50 for it. So, I mean, it's just, like I said, they paid for the blood testing, and I'm grateful that they did because that gave me a lot of peace of mind. But to actually go in depth and to have my teeth analyzed, yes, I will have to pay for it out of pocket.
Well, you can't afford to pay for it out of
I can't.
pocket.
I
That's
can't.
that's why you have this GoFundMe campaign.
I do. Right now, I'm on a very tight income. I'm self-employed, so it changes every month. I don't have a lot of money. I stay with my dad. He doesn't have a lot of money. This, to be perfectly honest, is a luxury, but it's something that I really feel that I need to do. And
Wait. Peace
I,
of mind. Peace of mind is a luxury. No, knowing
it
that
is
you
it is
are not lead poisoned to the point where you can have biological children is a luxury.
being able to get an expensive test done to give you peace of mind. That's a luxury.
Expensive tests, $200. You did not drink poisoned water knowingly. The state gave you the poisoned water. They put a gun to your head, and now they're telling you and your neighbors and your community, well, we shot it, the bullet didn't like hit your brain, it just kind of grazed the brain, you go deal with it. They have no responsibility in this at all. Zero. They
Nope.
won't even talk to you about it. or your neighbors or the community?
Well, hopefully this campaign will take off and more people will start getting their teeth tested and it will become something that they can't ignore. I mean, if you have more and more people getting it done, and there's going to start being a demand because people are going to be angry that they might not be able to afford it and they're going to want it to be covered. And to be perfectly honest, I think it should be covered. I think that basically any testing that you get done to make sure that your body is whole and that you're in good health after being exposed to tainted water, or it's you absolutely should be able to get tested and make sure that you're okay. I mean, I think it's common sense, but that's me.
And you help your neighbors, don't you?
I do. They're good
Let's
people.
talk about your little story that you told me in the green room.
Which one?
You,
I tell a lot of stories.
you don't help little old ladies across the street.
I Well, that's because I normally don't come across little old ladies trying to cross the street. But absolutely, like if I see my elderly neighbors unfolding or unloading their groceries, I'll go over and help them. It's the right thing to do. Before she died, our next door neighbor, she was elderly, and my dad would always go over there and cut her lawn and snowblow her driveway and stuff. It's being neighborly. I mean, that's part of why I went ahead and, I tried to let my neighbors know there was something up with the water. So unfortunately, there was a lot of other things going on in the neighborhood around that time, and it didn't get the focus it should have. But the good news is it looks like the street that I live on has low levels. So that's good. That's really good.
Are you going to have Scott Smith, Water Defense, come in and check your water?
I hope so. I actually need to text him and find out when he's going to be in town next. Because, we're still getting rashes. I still don't feel comfortable bathing. I mean, I take a bath once a week. I wash my hair every other week, and I do not wash it in Flint. If we've got gas money, we're going to go out of town to shower just because it's not worth the risk.
Where's the best place to go shower outside of Flint?
I'm going to say my friend Raina's house because she's got a real nice tub. It's great. Like I absolutely adore her, and I am so glad that she's down with letting us use her shower. So every other week we have like a game night and dinner with friends, and so we'll just go over there early and I'll get my bath, and it's amazing because I actually get to take a soak bath. So my poor partner, he can't take a shower right after me because I run the hot weed. I totally will run the hot water out. I don't even feel bad about it because it feels so good. You get done and it's like, oh, I feel clean. So, I mean, baby wipes are great, but they don't get everything.
But what do you do about your hair? You wash it every 2 weeks?
Mm-hmm. I do, and that sounds really gross. And it kind of is. But I have very long hair. My hair actually goes down to the middle of my back. And so I've got it pulled back all the time, pulled up. So I'll sleep with it in a ponytail to make sure that the oils don't make my face break out, because then I'd have to wash my face more, and eventually your body actually adapts and kind of gets used to it. So like my hair doesn't get ridiculously oily until about the first week is over. But I mean, I I lost a third of my hair already. I don't really want to lose any more.
Well, I wish you luck in your GoFundMe campaign. Megan, is there anything you would like to talk about that we have not covered? I think we've been at this for over an hour.
Oh, huh. Time flies when you're having fun.
That's what they say.
Yeah, so just to all the viewers out there, thank you for watching, and I hope you do donate. Every little bit counts and helps, and hopefully we can get some answers and find out, if I can have kids or how bad it is, and if it wasn't bad, awesome. If it was bad, at least I know. But either way, I know. So, thank you.